the first of a series of how-to videos from TEXA UK. We're going to start off with suspension calibration. The first suspension calibration we're going to do is on a Mercedes Actros. We're starting using our standard diagnostic interface with our multi-hub, which is already plugged into the vehicle. The ignition is turned on and the air pressure is up. Some of the vehicles will allow you to add an external air supply if you need to. Others may need you to have the engine running to maintain the air pressure. The help files will describe to you what you should be doing prior to the calibration, and it will talk you through the entire process from start to finish while you are calibrating it. I've opened my software. I've selected the truck software. I'm going down to Mercedes-Benz, highlighting Mercedes-Benz and then hitting the VIN-scan button. The VIN-scan gives me a little warning which tells me that for some vehicles the identification is not complete. I hit OK. The interface now communicates with the vehicle, asking me to use what the chassis number is and establishing what the vehicle actually is, saving quite a lot of time and quite a lot of knowledge being required. It reduces the amount of information we need about the vehicle. If we've never worked on a vehicle before and we've never seen the vehicle before, it's much easier if you use the VIN-scan. It gives you exactly what the vehicle is without any issues. The vast majority of the scans will come up and give you exactly what the vehicle is. This particular one asks us, is it an Actros or an Actros? We know that it's an Actros. I highlight the Actros button and hit OK. That then populates the software for me, and we can go straight into the system scan. We can go in through the shortcuts, or we can use the individual systems, whichever way we wish to go. Some of the systems will allow us to calibrate only if there is a lack of calibration fault code in the suspension. Some of them won't allow us to do it unless we delete it first and then do the calibration afterwards. I'm going to go in straight through the suspension system, chassis level adjustment. I'm going to go into self-diagnosis mode when I'm establishing a connection. It takes a couple of seconds. Once the connection has been made, it instructs me to turn on the ignition and hit the confirm button, which I've just done. It instantly takes us to faults and the fault screen, and there are no faults in this suspension system. There are no faults noted, but that doesn't mean there isn't anything wrong. There may be something wrong. This vehicle may not have been on the road since the work was finished. It won't find the faults until it does go on the road. So we can look at live data, we can check out live data information. We can look at what it actually thinks it is and what it thinks it needs to be. Each one of the lines of data has a question mark on the right hand side. Anywhere where you see the little amber coloured question mark in a circle, you can highlight that particular piece of data, hit the question mark in the bottom right hand corner, and it will give you your possible values, so you can then cross-check to see that all the values are within spec before you start. Everything seems okay. I can go then into settings, level calibration. I tap level calibration. Again, there is a help file. On the front axle at any time should be 12.5 bars. Now, we've obviously got no trailer in this vehicle, so it is unladen. So we're going to follow the unladen figures. So the maximum pressure on the rear axle in an empty vehicle should be 3.5 bars. I've connected an air gauge onto the airbags to make sure at no time do I exceed that 3.5 bar limit. If we exceed it, it will stop the calibration from happening. So once again, I go into level calibration, I hit the start button. It then tells me to press confirm to continue or cancel to exit. Confirm to continue. At the end of all the modifications, it's strongly recommended to connect to the CDS Central Data Memory Control Unit if it is fitted. This vehicle does not have that system fitted. It is one that you will have to use your diagnostic capabilities and your knowledge of the vehicle to find out whether it does have it. This particular vehicle does not have it. I hit confirm and move forward. The next help file telling me the compressed air reserve must be sufficient. By sufficient, they mean enough in there to carry out the calibration. If necessary, you can let the engine run. The maximum bellows pressure must not be exceeded. We can hit confirm again to continue. I know the pressure's up because I've just had it running. So the calibration must be carried out on a level floor. Tyres should be in good condition with even wear, correct pressures. Semi-trailer tractors must be empty to perform the calibration. Press confirm to continue or cancel to exit, so we hit confirm. The vehicle status is not full load. I don't want full load setting. It goes immediately to full load, so I now use the up and down arrows to change the setting until it's an unloaded vehicle. Once I've hit unloaded vehicle, I can then hit confirm to continue. And we get the screen for level calibration comes up. All the help and instructions are now located in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. It tells us to raise or lower the chassis. We can press the up and down arrows on the dashboard, or we can use the up-down arrows on the keyboard. We need to bring it into its highest level, and by highest level they mean as high as it will go without travelling any further, but not going above the 3.5 bar maximum. So I'm now going to increase the side and the height using the buttons on the actual dashboard. And I'm going to watch until the vehicle doesn't rise anymore. Still going up. And that's it, we're no longer going up. I now check on my gauge and I'm not above 3.5 bar, I'm just below 2 bar on my pressure gauge. So I'm quite happy with that. It says at no point should it go above 3.5, so we're perfectly okay. We hit the select button. And use the select buttons to actually switch off the sensors for the bellows. I don't need to switch them off, I want to calibrate both sides. So I leave them both switched on and I hit confirm. It says, are we at the upper level? Press confirm to calibrate it. Yes, we are. It's now doing the calibration and it's put in rear right axle, rear left axle, upper level limits. They are populated in the graph. Calibration is done, we hit confirm, it then says okay. Bring the axle down to the lower level. I do exactly the same as I did before, just using the buttons on the dashboard to lower the suspension and bring the vehicle down. Comes down in stages. We don't want anybody getting hurt, we have to make sure that everybody's clear and there's no fingers in the way or body parts. Luckily, there's nobody else in the workshop likely to get injured, there's nobody close enough to get injured. Just allow me to carry on. I'm just tapping the down button repeatedly to get the vehicle to sink to its lowest parts. Once it doesn't go any lower, we know we're at the lower point. And that's it, we are at the minimum point. So, we hit confirm to tell it that we're there. It's now asking me to confirm again to do the calibration. It says we're at the lower level and the calibration's done. We press confirm again to confirm that we're happy with what we've done so far, and it's now asking me to do one final confirmation, and it will then search for its own ride height based on the numbers that were put in from the maximum and minimum levels on the highest level. It tells us to wait, it's obviously raised itself up. It now says that it's at the standard level. It can sometimes take a couple of goes to get to the standard level. It puts a little bit of pressure in, then a little bit more, then a little bit more, a little bit more, and eventually it gets level. Calibration is done, we hit confirm. And the next pressing the button on the confirm is to save the figures. So we save the calibration values into the ECU. It tells us to wait for a second or two until it does that. Once it's done that, we will be able to finalise the calibration. It tells us that in the bottom left hand corner of the screen the level calibration adjustment has been done. We press confirm and it exits the system for us. That's the calibration complete. We will then road test the vehicle, obviously, to make sure there are no further faults. When we come back, we do a final scan for fault codes. If there are no fault codes, then the calibration is complete.